Okay, yes. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine. What about you?
Yes, here we are.
Hi.
Good morning.
Gotcha, man. How you been so far?
Yeah, thank you. Very good. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm Lyn Hunter. I grew up in Nashville, actually, but I'm here in Chattanooga. I moved here in 2019. I'm a librarian at the Chattanooga Public Library. I was a librarian in Florida before then.
My path, the starting point really was visiting in my children's days the exact same public library that I'm now heading. Really, so it's kind of a nice story. I'd like to think about it.
I knew that I was academically inclined and thought that, reading and research was my happy place. So obviously, becoming a professor of English was where I needed to go. I liked writing. Every decision I made from the time I was about 12 was to get me to graduate school and to become a professor. But I went and I taught. I taught at Tulane and I taught at Vanderbilt and I taught for about 8 years. Um, and then I got pregnant with my second and knew that I wasn't going to be teaching that next fall because I was going to have him in August.
The point when I decided for myself to become a librarian myself was when in high school, and I could make very good use of the public of their services. They helped me a lot, and the people working there by that time, they were very helpful, very friendly, and so this gave me a whole very positive idea of a library being a very opening, welcoming, helping place. And that what really fostered my idea to somehow become a librarian myself in order to fulfill that role really in a public library. But yeah, it started at that time really to have this idea of what a public library could be basically for not only for children but more or less for anybody really. Yeah. And then it took some turns from there.
I unexpectedly got pregnant with twins while I was nursing an infant. I was holding my 10-month-old when they told me that I was having twins. I have some time to figure some stuff out. Ultimately, I ended up sort of making like a Venn diagram of all of of all of the things. And in the middle of that was libraries. And I thought, oh my God, why didn't anybody ever tell me that being a librarian was something I could have done? I realized, that all of the places I was happiest, all the things that I did that where made me feel smart, all of the things that made me feel useful in the world and connected to things, and followed by curiosity and made my brain feel like I was using all of it, was library work. And so I brought it up to my husband. I said, I think, oh my God, please don't hate me, but I think I'm going back for another degree. And he was like, you are Dr. Hunter. You already have 3 degrees. Like, what are you doing? In my heart, that all of the things, I only ever wanted to talk about books with people. I only ever wanted to convince you to get the same joy out of a book that I got out of a book. And I thought that was teaching. And it wasn't. It was being a librarian. And it's just changed my life. It's made when I tell people that I grew up with that I'm a librarian, they're like, you're the loudest, most disorganized person. And so how can that be your job? Organized, quiet places. I was like, but it's not that at all. So anyway, that's my story.
What I would like to address is that what public libraries could do nowadays in terms of being to bring communities together, when at the same time one would somehow see that communities are drifting apart. Really, that's one thing
Yes.
that we see right now, just these days, right now in Germany. That's one major topic that somehow keeps me thinking what could be our task, our role as a public library to address this kind of problem really
Yes.
to and what we could do as a public space for all. I would think and to say that public libraries do actually have a role in that and how to somehow address the role now.
Yeah. And to do it in a way that is not obviously political. Like there
Hmm.
has to be a way to
Yeah.
allow both many sides of a topic to be discussed and to be together without allowing for the mistreatment of
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
some of a
So
group. For us, it is topics. The topics are LGBTQ and BIPOC, people of color, that are really kind of triggering to these groups. I know that there has been an influx of immigrants into the EU from various war-torn areas. I wonder, is that kind of triggering point for?
Yes, definitely yes, yeah. We had this kind of major crisis in terms of migration by the year of 2015. So this was a major topic back then, and it was also kind of I think where things in lots of different ways started at that time, being like the society drifting apart, different opinions becoming more and more radical, the willingness and the openness to accept other people's point of view and to not judge them by their opinion alone. I think there was somehow it started to slide back then, and it was somehow then intensified and getting more and more difficult during the pandemic. From what you can see right now, and also in the political debate in Germany, is that these kind of willingness and openness is declining, really. So that more and more people start to say that I would like all my friends, my colleagues, and all my personal bubble to think just like me, and not being open anymore to accept that there are other bubbles to start with, or other perspectives on life, which you mustn't necessarily like or even would be willing to support. But I think it would be important, would be necessary as a member of society to accept them, to say, well, I'm not judging them because they have the same right to their opinion, as long as it's not illegal, it's not
harmful to others,
against the constitution, not unlawful to others. Then it would be your duty, so to speak, as a member of the public, of society, to accept those, really, and not to give directions and to force other people to follow your opinion, really.
And I think that's part of the reason that the librarians across the United States are the ones who are standing the line, who are, we think everybody has a right to information, whatever that information is, right? And so we're, and I think that's why, you'll see, news articles about librarians going to city councils and librarians speaking to state senates. We did some surveys 2 years ago when we were starting our strategic plan, and we went out to different groups in the community. We talked to parents of young children about kindergarten readiness. We talked to teenagers. One of the groups that we tried to reach out to internally, we were calling them never users, because they never came in. They didn't really know anything about the library. Our marketing efforts had not reached them. How could we make contact with these folks and then figure out what their perceptions are of the library that made them never users? Was it just geography? Were they too far away? What was it? One of the things that came up several times was, I'm not a smart person. Libraries are for smart people.
Yes.
I'm not smart enough to go in there. I remember being in that session, getting those data back and being just almost in tears, thinking that there were people out there who thought that this place was not for them, and not for them that it was a failure on their part, that they are not smart enough. Come in here, let us see, let us help you. So thinking about that, and especially in terms of one of those questions that they gave us to think about, like the people that we aren't serving and why that might be, and who in our community doesn't know about what we offer and how we serve them. I wonder how much of that is institutional in a sort of way that isn't about each individual staff member, but somehow it's institutional. Right? And how does that happen, since we make up the institution? That we should always be thinking about making the use of the library easier for the user. And
I think you can it's the same that we experience here, that once we lose track and lose sight of what people really want from us, then I think that's the first step away from them in terms of, so you're on a track to somehow build your own thing and to try to make it work for you, for the staff, so with a very internal perspective rather than to open it up to the general public. One of our colleagues, they presented a paper from one of their recent projects they were doing. She is a professor at a university teaching library sciences, and she talked about a recent project that she had together with students developing a strategic vision for a small branch library in one of the towns here in the federal state. And the special thing about that was that this library was threatened to be closed down because it was run by volunteers only. So there was a major issue how to somehow come up with a strategic vision, how to implement it into becoming a reality, and how to involve the general public and the patrons in that process. And the main thing was how to somehow to engage your community really, and your patrons and your not only your regular users but also the non-users, and to really ask them, please tell us about your library, about your idea of your favorite spot and favorite place, really. That was actually the initial question. Let us take part in your vision of a library. What would it look like? What services would be there on display, and also what the general look and feel of that place. What would that be? Let go of your own traditional image of a library, to somehow really to actually dream about a place that it's not yet in existence, but what a library could be in the future.
Well, I'm Alan Green. I'm calling out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is, of course, a couple hours from Nashville.
Well, I've been in the fire service a little over 10 years.
Wow.
I did 9 years out in operations on the fire suppression and front line.
Okay.
I've been in this position a year now. I'm the fire and life safety educator for the fire department. So I do more so of in-office work, going out to the community, doing all the fire and life safety education. So that's my job. It's something I enjoy. So, I don't ever feel like I'm coming to work.
Yeah, my job is at the fire station in Hamm. I'm actually in charge of for all the people who go out to rescue people for fire trucks or even emergency trucks. And we also have the emergency call center at our place. I've been here in Hamm, fire station where I'm now for 2 years.
What we're seeing now, we're losing firefighters due to pay.
No.
They love the job, they love the department, but the pay, they're leaving for that. And they're not even leaving going to other departments. They are leaving going to other careers and jobs altogether. Most of them are leaving and saying, you know what, I got to find me a better job to make more money because of family and, the cost of living. So that's what we're battling with and struggling with, is being able to get a pay that balances out with the cost of living and the demands of life and the time that we putting in, and just make it to where people say, you know what, I don't have to work 2 jobs. Most of us work 2 jobs in the fire department. So a lot of us, we leave the fire hall and we go work another job.
Okay.
So, as firefighters, that's what's going on. So you can imagine, man, is you've been doing that for years and you run calls all through the night. You don't get any sleep at all. And once you get off from work, you got to go to work again to another job. I spent 9 years in operations on the fire suppression team, engine company, riding the back. I never wanted to get promoted because it was a family. It was a close-knitted family. And I was like, man, if I get promoted, I'm not going to be with them anymore. In the area I worked in, I kind of grew up in that area, so I knew everybody just about.
It's equal in Germany. Like we have, how do you call it? 3 shifts. Like we have 3 groups at our.
We got three shifts, yeah.
Shift, and even because they are so tight, they are so connected to each other, the people, that it's always hard to change a person to a different shift. Because like we need a qualification on a different shift or like in a different team. It's always a huge discussion, and because they are so like family.
Yeah, and they told me this in the academy. They always said, do not get married to a fire hall. You know, they tell you that, don't get married, but then when you get out there and you spend more time with firefighters than you do with your family, it's like, how can I not get married to a fire hall? This is my family and this is who I'm with.
And the most important thing is you need someone beside you that you trust.
Yeah, that's for real, man. That's the beautiful part of the fire service.
Yeah.
That no matter where you are in the world, it's still similar.
Yeah.
Just even the culture of the fire service is what it is. It don't change. It may vary, but it's going to still be the same in respect to what the fire service is, because you and I, no matter where we are in the fire service, we share the same sentiments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I really enjoyed talking to you, and we are, I don't know, like 8,000 or 9,000 miles different. But you already mentioned it or said it. We have the same thinking. We have the same goal. We need to help people, and we maybe use different loops or some different techniques. But overall, the thinking is the same. We are basically the family, a team, and it's really important that we trust each other.
Right. We call this our memorabilia area. We got a lot of different things about the fire department way back in before I even thought of.
Nice.
Just different things, different past chiefs of the fire department. As you can see, go way back.
Yeah.
Old fire nozzles there, man.
Okay.
Nozzles and whatnot. Old firemans there.
Oh, yes.
So then, as you can see, we got our transitions from different helmets that were used.
Yeah, nice. Yes.
So it's kind of where we house a lot of this stuff at over here in the admin building. Then, so the first floor is usually just like, the chief, deputy chief, and whatnot. And then as we go to the second level, we have fire marshal's office. Then we have special operations office up here. We have our fire investigators offices up here, as well as safety officer. This is one of our fire trucks here.
Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna turn it around so I can walk and show it to you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Great.
This is what we call our shop. This is where we bring our fire engines to get fixed. If something goes wrong, we have in-house mechanics that fixes our fire trucks, so we don't have to send them off. As you can see, and this is one of our newer engines, where they got the whole bed on the top. This is one of the new ones, ain't it?
This is squad 13.
Oh, so this haven't even went out yet. Yeah, so this is brand new, Eike. So I'm speaking with Eike. He's a firefighter over in Germany.
Oh wow. So
this is our shop where we get our trucks fixed at, and this is one of our ladder trucks, not ladder, Quint 14. So this is one of the older trucks, actually. Matter of fact, I think all of these in here are older trucks.
By the way, this is the elephant, our firefighter elephant. It's a symbol of ours. From this side is the emergency one, and the other one, the other side, it's a firefighter.
Oh.
You probably see the accent here. It's for the people in the phone booth.
Yeah.
So, well, now you see the whole fire station. It's built like 20 years ago.
Oh wow.
So this area is the place where the people meet in the morning, and they start their duty. They get the information of the chief officer, and this is all of the vehicles. This is the smaller one where I used to drive with, but it's already old. We are going to have 3 newer ones, which are constructed now, so they will be here, I guess, next summer. So this is a fire truck, one of our fire trucks. This is where the driver is. I will show you the rest. This is the cabin of the fireman, like the air bottles with all the stuff. I can try to make the flashlights on. Okay, let me see. We have just blue lights over here. We have no red or yellow ones. It's just blue.
Just blue lights. That's funny, man. Y'all look like a police.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, one of our last meetings on this Zoom thing before you and I, you know, we talk on our own, man, but for people that are going to be watching this project, man, we just wanted them to understand that the transition you and I have made, just talking about firefighter life and a little bit about our families, man, and why we joined the fire service, the impact that other people have had on those, you know, just, man, having great people around me to say, Alan, don't get stuck on looking at what you've been through, or what you look like, or what you don't have, what somebody else have. Look at the person, man. Look at the bigger picture that, you know, we're still on earth together, and in order to succeed and move forward, then we got to work together. So, man, I wanted to share that with y'all. I appreciate you, man, for just taking the time and making time in your busy schedule to meet with me from time to time, man, till we was able to develop some type of relationship, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's the same over here. Like, for me, it's special. Like, we in Germany, the fire departments are close, connect to each other all over the country. We are good in exchanging information or concepts or whatever. That works out. But it's special for us to meet an American fire department, because, as I mentioned, they seem to be our heroes. They're tough. They have huge fire trucks. They have cool uniforms. For me, it was really interesting, and I was really happy that I can follow this cultural exchange to meet an American fireman, because I think the interesting thing is, sure, as we do the same, we probably have the same problems. And even to exchange, to discuss those problems, to find a different view, to find a different view of a different culture, I think that's special, and that makes it good. That you don't feel alone. Not my little world is the best or is the worst. It's basically the same. Everybody has the same problems or the goods to share with someone in a different country, in a different time zone. That, I guess, is really, really special.
I'm more into painting right now, and I have here some of my sketchbooks, because last time you said you would like to show me some of your sketchbooks, and so I have something prepared here. I was traveling, as I told you. I was in Mauritius in East Africa for a week with my son, my oldest son. He is in the travel business, and so he always gets something quite cheap, and you have to be very fast and to say, yes, take me with you. And then whoop, and then we were flying, and we had a wonderful week, and I was painting a lot, but I don't have this book here. I have another book I was painting when I went to France last year. And this is quite a nice book. You see, that is Leporello. You can open it here and tell a story, really.
Oh, wow.
It started here because my grandfather lived in France during World War II in Strasbourg. I never knew about it, but Strasbourg was a German colony in the war. for only a year or so. And so he was also an artist. He was a sculptor, and he was living in Strasbourg. And I went there to find out about him. And I made a little project out of this. I went to the town archives, and I asked if I could find something, his address, where he lived. And then I walked along the streets looking for this house, but I couldn't really find so much. But yeah, this is the story about looking for my grandfather, really. He worked at the cathedral, I found out, and so I also went to this cathedral. And that was the last thing here when I was waiting for the train to go back here. Yeah, so I'm always mixing a bit of painting and also telling a story. Yeah,
that's just beautiful. How long did it take you to do that?
I'm always doing this when I'm sitting somewhere. Then I have my colors with me. Mostly I use watercolor, and I'm doing this quite fast always. It's just for memories. And I had a very nice experience in Mauritius when I was there last week, my last days. That people were so friendly, and they made pictures of me. They asked me, "Can I make a picture of you when you're sitting here and drawing?" And it was very nice. In Germany, people are not doing this. They mostly are very critical.
I think here is like a little more freedom of do whatever you like, whatever makes you happy kind of attitude that I have anyway. Do whatever makes you happy. At least I try to. So, and then I have you reminded me that I have this collage book that I made several years ago with a group of friends. And what we did was, and I missed that group of friends. These are the friends I was telling you about, in the very beginning, that, we would get together and hang out together and, kind of like throw off ideals. So here was my journal. It was my book. Can you see? I drew that.
Oh, this is pretty.
It's on wax paper. So this was my first.
Wow. That's so nice.
Yeah. And then it has it's a poem that I wrote to myself when I was younger, that I took from one of my diaries. And the poem was, "Who am I?" So, and the poem reads, I'm the person that can't believe. I'm the person that would keep trying to believe. I'm that person that wants to make everybody happy, but not myself. I'm that person that wants the world to be a better place, but I don't know if it ever will be. I'm that person who wants to make a difference, but am I making a difference? I'm that person that hurts quietly. Maybe I'm just like you, who knows? But all I wish is that you remember a person like me. So that was my little poem that I wrote to myself way back when. And then it was nice. Like, I love it because, again, there's the birds with the little feathers that I put on there. And then that was a little wax. And then I passed my book on to a friend, and this is what she made for me. She made that. She was
giving you that heart.
And then on the inside,
you can open it. Wow! Oh, it's so nice.
It's all kinds of pictures of me and my son and my grandchildren. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
And then I passed it on to another friend, and she did this as a representation of all of my work, like my pots and bowls and things. So that's what she did. Then I did this one. It was just articles of pottery, examples of pottery that I liked.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. A friend of mine, she did this, and it's supposedly be me because I like Lena Horne. She was a famous singer here in the States, an actress. That's what she did of me. So it's so reminding me of your beautiful collage of some storybooks of your father. And then my friend said, you got a good friend, and then she made that one for me.
Oh, so pretty.
It's so nice to see or know that, you know, your friends think this of you, you know. So, and this is another one. Is to tell me what you plan to do with the one wild and precious life. And it's by Mary Oliver. It's the quote from her.
Oh, very, very beautiful.
Oh yeah, and that's the end of it. And then we all had these like really beautiful books designed. So we all have, and my initial Denise. So yeah. So I wanted to show you that because I was so inspired by your book last week. It's like, oh my gosh, it was so nice and so well done. So, but that's my little artsy. Most of the time, education is the one thing that's not funded here very well. There's a shortage of teachers because they don't pay them enough. As you may or may not know, here in the United States, we have like a lot of people just recently banning a lot of books. You know, they don't want, you know, the children, they think some books are not appropriate. So they're attacking the libraries and they're attacking the artists. And these are books that's been around forever. And that's sad to me because it's taken away your right to be able to determine if that book is not the book for you. Somebody else have decided that's not the book for you. And I have a problem with that. I fell in love with reading probably in my late 30s. So I didn't like really read. I just like, you know, browse. And then a friend of mine gave me a book. And then from then on, I wanted to read, you know. You always was a reader?
Yeah, I was always a reader when I was a child. My parents, they are not very well educated. They had to leave school when they were 14, and they were grown up in the war, and they had no real good school and everything. And my mother worked in a supermarket, and but she was only opening food boxes in the basement. So she had a very low-paid, terrible job, really. And my father was a worker in power plants. But my father took me to the library when I was a child and showed me where there are the children books. And I was very in love with this little nice children library. They had nice seats where you can with cushions, and it was very comfortable. And it was so nice to have all these books around, and then I could pick up some, and we were going always on a Saturday morning, and I loved this very, very much. And then when I got my first pocket money, and I was always saving a bit, and I was buying a book every time. And yeah, really, I loved reading very much. Yeah.
To have memories like that with your dad taking you to the library, oh, what great memories.
And so here we are again on our topic on how much impact we have, and you have so much impact on your friends by giving them all these beautiful things and bringing beauty into the world, and this is really good.
I hope so. I do. I hope so. Because our world needs some beauty right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I saw all your puppets that you were posting on Instagram, and I thought this is so beautiful with the moth on the head. There are so many things in your art that has to do with flying or with changing, transforming, and all these things, and this is so beautiful. And I was thinking that my things are not so much beautiful, really. I always have a little bit of darkness around mostly. I have, this is a bit different. The stories that I write, they are mostly a bit, there is always something a bit bad happening, and there is always a bit of, a bit scary, or a bit of element of crime or horror in it. And maybe I should give more beauty to everything.
No, but for me, I think mine is a lot of what I hold inside of me. So I think me expressing myself, I told you I love birds. So, and I always think of them, you know, I have this one, I'll Fly Away. It's actually a part of a Christian song that I used to sing in the church a long time ago when I attended church. But it's almost like I'm releasing all of, that's how I release whatever I'm feeling. It's through my art, you know, it's like I want that to just fly out of me and I don't think about it no more because like I said, I'm an overthinker and I hold things in. So my way of expressing, I guess, getting that out is through the birds. Because everything I have, everything I make pretty much have a bird on it. And I always think about like giving it to them and they can just take it and take it away from me and I don't have to think about it or feel about it anymore. So my darkness is the thinking and holding on to that, not releasing it until, you know, I sit down for 5 or 6 hours and I, you know, make a piece and I immediately pick out the bird that I want to use on all of my pieces. So, you know, I think with your work as well, you say it's a little dark, but I think it's that way of releasing that darkness that you may think or feel. I don't know, but
of course.
Yeah, for me, just giving it to the birds and let them take it off is like the best thing in the world. I don't know. It's one of those things may not sound right or feel right, but it's feel good and sound right to me. So I always wondered what happened to the birds at night. So I read about them. I'm like, where do they go? You know, I hear them all day long, but at night when I go out, I never hear them. So I used to read about where the birds go.